There are many children in Niagara region who really need your help. Yes, your help. These are children who, for whatever reason, are pulled out of their homes for their own safety and security, perhaps, into a foster care program. But the issue that we have, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have enough foster parents. The society is aging. Some of the great foster parents are getting to a point where they just, are on to other things. So we want to talk today about the importance of being a foster parent in Niagara. My guest today is Denise Collins from Family and Children Services. Denise, welcome. How many kids are in foster care?
Currently, John, we have 567 kids in foster care.
And why are they in foster care?
They're in for a variety of reasons. Their parents are struggling sometimes with housing or poverty issues, maybe mental health and addictions, and they're just trying to get on their feet. So at this point, they're unable to look after their children.
And you have a sense that, I know that we don't have enough foster parents. Are we seeing more kids than we have in the past?
Overall, kids in foster care are declining over the last several years. Lately, there has been a little blip. We're not sure if that has to do with some of the factories closing down in the Niagara region, some of the job loss, unemployment, that kind of thing. But overall, it's decreasing because we're always trying to keep kids in their home first. So we have a lot of programs and a lot of supports that keep kids in their home. If that doesn't work, then we look to family and community people who have a relationship with the child. And the last resort is them coming into the foster care program.
Right, and we should stress, there is a mythology out there, I think, that says that if that child comes out of the home, it's because the parents are always negligent. They may not have the wherewithal or the funds or the cognitive ability even to provide what the child needs.
That's right. I mean, our families are as diverse as the families represented in our community. So people are falling on hard times and they're needing extra support to get on their feet. And that's what Family and Children Services tries to do, is offer a temporary solution so that families can get their children back and be safe and healthy and happy.
So if we think of a child who might come into the foster care system, what happens? Just walk us through. You get a phone call, and what happens then?
Well, we get a phone call from maybe someone in the community or the parent themselves saying, I need help. I can't do this. I'm struggling. And we would go out. Our staff would go out and they would assess the situation. First, ask what the family needs, because perhaps we could provide it to that family in the home, and that's what we always try to do first. If the child is found to be unsafe and in need of protection, we would ask the family for family members that might be able to help. If not, then we would bring them into foster care, and my department gets the call. And what we do is we try to look at the age and the needs of the child and our available foster homes and beds, and we try to match that child with a family as close to possible as we can get. But because our foster care families are declining, that matching process, which is so important, becomes much more difficult, because then we just have to look at who has a bed available, as opposed to what might be the best fit for the family.
And Denise, certainly historically, we think as a society that to be a foster parent, you need mom and dad, probably white, probably Christian, but the world has changed. How's it changed for your service?
Well, it's changed quite a bit, I think, since then. I mean, we're looking for all kinds of people, individuals, families, people from different cultures, religions, backgrounds, sexual orientations, single people. You can own a home, you could rent a home. You just need to care about kids and, be able to look after them. We need French-speaking families. We have kids in care who come in who speak French. So we need all kinds of different families, just as much as we have, all different kinds of families here in Niagara.
Parents who are considering this now, there is some compensation. Give us a description of what they might expect.
Well, there is financial compensation in the form of a daily rate that a child receives, and it ranges between $30 and $60 a day. There's also a drug benefit card, dental care is covered. We have training, support. They have their own worker that's attached to their foster home that goes in and can support them on an ongoing basis. There's recreation money for kids and a number of programs that they can access. We arrange counseling, whatever the child needs, and often we'll cover the cost of that.
And some of the children that we're talking about will be healthy and sort of strong. Others will have some challenges, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think our kids are as unique as the kids out there in Niagara. Some of them have some challenges behaviorally. Some of them have been through a lot, so there may be some issues around trauma and behavior. Some of them, come right from the hospital and are infants. So the range, like I said, we place kids from 0 to 16. So there's the full range of unique kids out there that just needs a loving home temporarily until their parents can get back on their feet.
So I said in the opening that many of the great foster parents have moved on. They're getting older, and that's created a bit of a shortage for you. Is that fair?
Yes. Certainly, we've had a number of, I think we have 174 foster families currently, and they're tremendously committed people. But just like everyone else, they want to retire, they want to do other things with their lives, or their family situation has changed and they can't do the work anymore. So we're quite desperate actually for foster families and individuals. You don't have to be a family, you don't have to be part of a couple. And so I really encourage people to call. If they're interested, we can give them information. What I think is important to note, John, is the applicant, the foster parent, is in the driver's seat. They get to choose the age of the children they want, how many children that they want to care for, the types of needs that they're able to care for. So we're not imposing a particular child on you. If you want to foster one teenager, that's fine. If you want to foster babies, that's fine.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I find this fascinating that the foster parent could have a major role in that decision. Certainly from if we go out to the humane societies, the big black dogs are not picked up. Is there an age of a child that people prefer over another age?
I think it really varies because it depends on where a family's at in their own lives. Some families really connect with our teenagers. They remember what it's like to be a teenager and they've always felt an affinity towards that group of kids. There's other families that just foster babies. And everything in between. So, it's always harder to place older kids. So, if people are interested, I heard the other day that a gentleman came up to one of our foster parents and said, I didn't know I could foster because it's just me, but I'd like a teenage boy or two. And, that's great because it's no longer a couple. You have to be, like you said, a white Christian couple to foster. We need all sorts of people.
If people are interested, you would do presumably some kind of police background check?
Yep, there's quite a extensive assessment process because we need to make sure that our kids are safe first and foremost. So the first step is to call and we'll give you all the information, and then a worker will come out and explain the process in much more detail. But there is criminal record searches, child welfare searches, driver searches, references, and a document that we fill out just around your readiness to foster and do you really understand the level of commitment that you need to be making.
My sense is, just from personal experience, the foster parents that I know seem to be very good, loving people. I don't think they're doing it for the money.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think the money that I described would be enough in and of itself. I mean, it helps, absolutely. It's costly to raise a child. But I think they do it because they want to give back to their community. They want to help children out there in Niagara. The foster parents I've talked to talk about how much fostering gives back to them. So even though they might have started wanting to help somebody else, they reap the rewards, and so do their kids and their families, extended families, neighbors, everyone.
It might sound like a silly question, Denise, but some people might wonder, why should I care about this?
Well, I think you judge a community by how you take care of their most vulnerable citizens. And certainly our kids are our future, and if we don't nurture them and support them and keep them safe, I'm not sure what the community of Niagara will look like in 10 or 20 years. So I think kids are important, and we need to take care of each other, and we need to take care of the families out there that are struggling, and that's one way that you can do that.
And you mentioned briefly the benefit to the parent. Describe that a bit more. What do I get out of this relationship as the adult?
Well, I think you learn a lot. You get to be part of a professional team. You get to learn new skills. You get training. And I think that child who looks to you for that love and support, who needs you at that time in their life, and you get to see where they end up and what they can do and their potential. And I think that can be a very rewarding experience.
And some of the families that foster kids have their own children.
Absolutely, many of them do. Again, it's not a prerequisite, but many of them do, and they all talk about, again, the values that their kids have learned by reaching out and helping somebody and taking somebody else into your home.
Great. Denise, thanks very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, John.
So think about this. Make a phone call. I'll see you soon.